Self-explanatory. You go to the third floor.
Yeah, basically just like handing it to the front desk.
Laughing over there. I'm gonna get this app to work. Where does it belong? Okay, I made $35 so far on this one.
Nice.
And we might get another offer. Navigate to Chick-fil-A.
Here's what I found for Chick-fil-A.
We go to Chick-fil-A.
I mean, that's gonna be the closest potential spot for order. Just kind of wanted to get some directions on where to get out of here.
Yeah.
Turn right onto Bonner Drive. In 1,000 feet, turn left onto Delivery Drive. Take the next left onto Delivery Drive, then turn right onto Stanford Road. Turn right onto Stanford Road. In a quarter mile, use the left lane to turn left onto East Main Street.
I'm just gonna go to the parking lot.
Use the left lane to turn left onto East Main Street, then use the left two lanes to turn left onto Jamestown Parkway. Use the left two lanes to turn left onto Jamestown Parkway.
Hey.
You hear that music very loud?
Yeah? It's not that loud to me. Oh my god, it's cut up so loud.
Those are deaf.
You want to drive home,
Yeah.
how much I disdain your laziness.
Yeah, that is a good descriptor. Like if someone at work is slow with something and you describe them as slothful instead of just slow.
Right, because you're passing judgment on them as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
biblical style judgment. Like you're going to hell. That's how slow you took in getting this TPS report to me.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
Two-toed sloths are omnivorous, so they can eat animals. I didn't see where they do that a lot. They mainly still eat fruits and leaves and twigs and things, but they will eat birds sometimes and lizards. I would imagine that they have to be wounded or something, because it's not like they, I mean, surely they don't hunt. They're not fast enough, right?
They're not snatching a
You've arrived.
bird out of the air or something like that. They're not going after hummingbirds. It would have to be like maybe a recently killed or an injured bird. And man, if you're an injured bird in tropical rainforest of Central and South America, I'm guessing the last thing you want to see is a hungry two-toed sloth slowly coming at you, because you know it's going to take a really long time for it to eat you alive.
There's a funny YouTube video actually called When a Sloth Chases You. And it's just a sloth on the ground, like set to horror music.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I watched a lot of sloth videos.
There's a lot of good ones out there. I recommend looking up sloth bite.
Okay, I didn't see that.
You'd think it'd be sad or disturbing, but there's a bunch of different videos, and it's in the grand sloth style. It's really cute when sloths fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Oh, bite or fight?
Fight.
Oh, gotcha.
Like they look like they're taking it seriously, and they're all agitated, but it's impossible for us to take
And the
the
dash
sloth
at the
fight
top, and
seriously.
then
It's just too
see
cute,
what it looks like.
and they're just too incompetent at fighting.
Overall.
Oh dear. The three-toed guys, they are very much more picky eaters, and they eat, generally, these toxic leaves from just a few trees, and they hang around, like, if they find a good tree that they like, they will hang around that tree for a long, long time.
Yeah, apparently they know that some three-toed sloths will inhabit the same tree for their whole life. It's rare, it's unusual, but even still, I mean, their entire range usually doesn't extend over like 13 acres or 5.5 hectares, right? Like it's a very small, limited area that a three-toed sloth in particular, will inhabit their whole life.
All right, I think we can talk about the metabolism now, since we're eating.
Oh yes, I'm so happy.
I know what your fact of the show probably is. Just go ahead.
There's like 8
Schedule it so it's
in
there.
here.
That's true.
So I'll just stay.
So the reason sloths move
Looking at
so
it
slowly
sometimes.
is because, in part, they
What's on the
metabolize
schedule
so
if you do
slowly.
2:30?
Like
How
when
late
you
will it
when you
schedule?
metabolize, you're
To
converting
6:30.
like food into energy, right? And you're doing all sorts of stuff with that. You're moving your muscles. You're
Well, if you do
walking,
that, we
you're
can stop and
laughing,
get
you're
lunch,
talking,
and
you're
then
recording a
we'll be able
podcast.
to start
You're
whenever we're
digesting
ready.
food.
Huh.
And sloths are mammals, so they do have this metabolism that's similar to any other mammal metabolism.
This time
It's
slot
just
is no longer
way
available.
slower, and therefore
Schedule
it's way
dash visit
weaker.
scheduled
Like
now.
the human metabolism puts out about 80 watts of energy at any given time. Sloths
probably
put
just
out
changed.
less than 4
Well,
watts.
there's
It's just
3 to 4.
extraordinarily slow. And even
I'll push it
compared to
back to 3.
humans, or compared to other animals their same size, they metabolize things way more slowly. So the reason that they move so slowly is because they literally don't have the
Get right to
energy to
dash.
move much faster.
Yeah, it takes a
But is
whole
it
month
more
to
busy
digest
around
a
us?
meal.
Oh,
Just
They have to do it that
Yes,
slow. If they
everywhere.
would digest faster, could poison themselves because
Mount
they're eating
Airy
these
all the way
toxic
down
leaves.
to
They don't
Silas
have
City.
incisors, so
All good.
they trim these leaves down. They smack their little lips together and trim these leaves down. And again, I hate to say the word cute again, but it's pretty adorable to see a little sloth chewing on a leaf.
Yeah, but imagine
I mean,
you're
for
a
the time
wounded
that we
bird
have
and a
for it
toothless
today,
sloth is
not
eating
very
you to
good.
death.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I imagine it's not a
$30.
quick death.
No,
Or
you
no.
get gummed to death.
check what our earnings is now.
And I think the fact of the show probably is this whole
What's
whole
his
farting
grade?
business.
Oh yeah, so
Sure, take it.
we get
All
another
right,
40
well,
bucks
here's the
in this
deal.
afternoon.
They
We'll be doing
eat
good.
so slow that they
we're
don't
running
even
the
have
gamut.
gas that builds up in their system. That is how slow they
Or do you wanna
are
eat?
digesting their food. So
Oh,
the
you
gas
said
just
takes
gets
time?
reabsorbed
I said that.
through the intestines and into the bloodstream.
Wanna do that?
And it says here that
That's fine with me.
the gas is then respired out of
Which
the
one
lungs.
would you want to go to?
Does that mean that they mouth fart? Or does
Doesn't
it-
matter.
No, they're both pretty
Yeah,
much the same.
I mean, that's what I saw, is that they have, they basically pass the same gas. They normally would out of their fanny in the American sense.
Why'd you push the button?
Out of their mouth through breathing.
Oh,
Interesting.
you know how
So
that-
yeah, I guess they mouth fart.
Worst band name ever. That
Mouth
may be
fart?
worse than Diarrhea Planet.
I think you're right, man. But it's better than... No, it's actually worse than frozen poop night.
They should do a joint tour.
Yeah. Yeah, you know that mouth fart's going to be the opener always. They're never going to
Sure.
make it to the headline.
You boys will never headline.
Jake's Diner.
Here's what I found for Jake's Diner.
And I say boys because there's no way a girl band would be called Mouth Fart. They're way too smart for that. So they also have a multi-chambered stomach, sort of like a cow, which is really interesting because that's like a third of their body weight if their stomachs are full.
Yeah, I thought it was just so
Yeah. And I mean, like, the reason why it's so much of their body weight is because they digest food so slowly. They have to have this multi-chambered stomach to get as many nutrients as they possibly can out of it. And even still, like, it's a really terrible evolutionary strategy to evolve as a strictly is it herbivorous? A strictly tree-dwelling herbivore.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really bad strategy because you have to be small enough to exist in the tree, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to be big enough to eat tons of leaves every day.
Yeah.
Well, if not, because leaves don't give you, they're not very energy dense, so you have to eat a ton of them to get good energy. Well, the sloths evolved a different strategy. They just slowed their metabolism down.
Right.
So they can be small, but they don't have to eat that many leaves. And in fact, they can go for days without eating. And because they digest so slowly, they only poop about once a week. But to the central cog of this whole adaptation is having a big stomach that can very slowly digest every possible nutrient out of the food that they eat.
Yeah, so they do. They defecate and urinate once a week. Generally in the same spot, kind of at the base of the tree. I don't think they like to wander too far, because when they're on the ground, they are much more at risk than when they're up in their tree. Because they're super slow and they're at risk for attack, for whatever. Any sort of larger mammal could come by and have a sloth lunch at any time.
Right. In particular, the harpy eagle is like their main predator, but also, they're definitely vulnerable to ocelots and jaguars and virtually any other predator in the jungle because they move so slowly and they have such an inability to defend themselves. But some researchers think that the reason sloths evolved to move so slowly is because it's a defense mechanism for them. That rather than like the howler monkeys that they share the jungle with, when something comes along and gets the howler monkeys agitated, the howler monkeys scream and run around and try to escape.
Yeah, it's chaos.
The sloths who may be in the same tree as a howler monkey just stays motionless and silent. And so they camouflage in with the tree. So that really slow movement is actually a defensive adaptation as well.
Yeah, I think the sloth's defensive motto is nothing to see here. You're just like, we're just going to be really still, let these monkeys take all the attention and no one will notice us. And that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, that's exactly the idea, and it works. It actually does work, and it's misleading, I think, to say, which means I accidentally misled everybody, that sloths have no recourse if they are found out. I saw at least one video where a harpy eagle found a sloth in a tree and lands right next to it, and the sloth just slowly lifts its arm up and kind of swats behind it with its claw at the harpy eagle, and the harpy eagle looked kind of puzzled, but it worked. Like, the harpy eagle left it alone.
Interesting.
So yeah, they can ward off danger, just not that frequently, actually.
Yeah, then they despite the fact that they move super slow, and they are lazy, they don't actually sleep as much as you would think. In captivity, they will sleep a lot longer.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Because
What
they
are
have
you eating?
no predators around, no jaguars, and they understand that, and they're like, all right, everything's cool, I can really dig in and sleep some. But out in the wild, they sleep, a little under 10 hours, which is, I guess if you would have asked me beforehand, I would have guessed, 15 and up for sloth sleep.
Well, they will in captivity.
Turn right, then turn left.
Sleep as much as 15 to 20 hours a day.
I don't know if I would
But in
want
the
it
wild,
this time,
they think,
but I
like you
wouldn't
said,
mind it.
they got to be on point.
Yeah.
And they're not
French
stinky either,
toast.
which is another great thing, even though you
No.
definitely don't want a sloth as a pet, for reasons we'll talk about later. They don't smell. They smell kind of like the trees they live in, which is kind of great, and another defense mechanism.
Yeah, so the reason that they smell like the trees that they live in is because sloths move so slowly that algae
Your destination is on the right.
grows on them in their coat, in their fur.
Yeah, this is
Which
the other
is-
sort of amazing part. Like, I had no idea.
No, I didn't either, and I don't think researchers had much of an idea about this until recently. They knew that sloths got covered with green algae, especially during the rainy season. Normally they have like a tan or a brown colored coat, but when it gets rainy in the tropical rainforest they live in, an algae like growth will build up on their coat. Which, I mean, you try to grow some algae on you, you can't do it.
I've tried.
Even if you didn't take a shower, you move around too much. You couldn't get any algae to grow on you. Sloths can. And at first they thought, haha, that's hilarious. Yet another funny fact about how slow sloths are. But as they've researched more deeply into it, they found that actually the sloth coat is an amazing ecosystem.
The Power knows more is.
Oh yes, if we're unplugged.